this weekend gave us D23, and head of Marvel Television, Brad Winderbaum, had a lot to say. The footprint of Marvel Television is only going to increase, and he gave us some really interesting insight into some future possibilities, which included Agatha Harkness, a Season 3 of Loki, and Jessica Jones? Well, we have heard a little bit about that. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what he said, what's going on, and what's likely to show up on your small screen from Marvel Studios. Now, over this past weekend, we had the D23 down in Brazil, and that saw all kinds of interesting Marvel details come out. We got a couple of new trailers and some announcements, but now some of the interview sound bites are coming our way, and we're getting more and more information. Now, at the convention, Brad Winderbaum, who's head of streaming, television, and animation at Marvel Studios, provided a few updates on the MCU's streaming future. Now, he had a bit to say about several projects, including Agatha, some potential Jessica Jones news, and a Season 3 of Loki. So let's kick it all off with Agatha. Now, at the event, he was asked if we're going to see more of Agatha Harkness after Agatha All Along, and that huge cliffhanger that closed out the series. Now, in response, he said, Jacques Schaeffer has an incredible imagination, and she had a vision for this show and for these characters that was really unique and allowed Kathryn Hahn to embody this character so significantly. I feel like, as an actress, she's going to be forever bonded to Agatha Harkness. Now, Winderbaum's not wrong here. Kathryn Hahn has brought the character to life in a way that probably the only other villains in the MCU could compare her to would be Thanos and Loki. She has completely embodied the character, and I'm sure when people see her on the street, they see Agatha immediately. This past season really delved deeper into her psyche, and now that she's a ghost traveling with Wiccan, I do suspect we are going to see a lot more of her, and if you know the comics, well, her journey is not at an end, it's actually still fairly close to the beginning. Like we said, there's a lot of possibilities for Agatha to show up again. We are hearing continued reports that she could be part of a Wiccan show, maybe show up in the Vision series, and obviously if the Scarlet Witch gets her own series or movie, that would be an ideal place for her to return. Now, probably the most interesting question that was asked to Winderbaum at the event was about the Defenders, and he was flat out asked which Defender he would like to see show up in the MCU, and he responded immediately with, oh wow, I mean Jessica Jones. Now, if you've been paying attention, she has been rumored to be part of Daredevil Born Again since we found out about the show. And although it doesn't look like she's going to be part of Season 1, there is a strong possibility she could be part of Season 2. Now, we need to be careful here because there were a lot of rumors she was going to be part of Echo, and she may have even shot something for that series, but Echo was seriously trimmed down, and since the series only had 5 episodes, any of those external plots may have been clipped off, and we could have been robbed of an appearance of Jessica Jones. Now, she's much closer associated with Daredevil and those New York heroes, so you never know, Marvel Studios could slip her in during Season 1 of Daredevil, but it sounds like Winderbaum has plans for her, and with Jessica Jones coming right out of his mouth, there might even already be something in place, and he's just teasing us for it now. Now, the other thing Winderbaum was pushed pretty heavily on was a Season 3 of Loki, and he had a pretty simple answer to that, saying there's always a chance. Now, I definitely do not think we've seen the last of Loki, and with Secret Wars right around the corner, I firmly believe a reunion between him and his brother is imminent. But a Season 3 of Loki might be pretty far off. I actually think if this does happen, the multiverse storyline will have already been concluded, and if Tom Hiddleston does decide to actually return to the role, that's far from confirmed, well, I think that story would encompass a version of Loki after the Secret Wars event and after he's been reincorporated into the MCU proper. This could allow him to drift more into the mischievous nature of the character, kind of returning to a trickster, maybe not a villain, but I do not think there's any possibility that Marvel Studios does not use this character in the future because Hiddleston's portrayal and his public persona are so strong, fans are going to demand for him to come back, and I think all parties are likely to oblige. There's a lot of stuff going on with Marvel Studios, and we need to keep a close eye on all these reports. Winderbaum and team tend to let things trickle out a little bit at a time, and with him kind of saying there was a potential future for Loki and Jessica Jones, well, that makes me think the discussions are already happening, and he wouldn't be teasing fans with any of these possibilities if there wasn't a chance. It really boils down to a when. We know Marvel is throttling back the number of series they're going to produce every year, probably just 2, so finding a spot for Jessica Jones or Loki in the future might be a bigger challenge than just making the shows. Obviously, we're going to follow Marvel Television pretty closely. I think all of these characters have strong possibilities, and if I had to choose one to come back right now, it's definitely going to be Jessica Jones. Heck, she might even show up next year. Now, before you take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell for all the updates, and make sure you get every notification because we do daily Marvel and DC content and we don't want you to miss any news.